Hi, my name is Camille, and this is the in between, that messy sacred space between what's ending and what has not yet begun. Today, I want to talk about surrender. In the new design model, surrender is not giving up, it's giving over. It's inviting a collaboration with the unseen force that lives and moves and has its beingness in, through, and around your life. In the old design model, surrender is a weakness. You don't surrender in the old design model because it's built out of separation, duality, right, wrong, a winner, a loser. The last thing you do in the old design model is surrender. If you surrender, you're weak. You're the loser. Who wants to be weak and a loser? Nobody does. That's why in the new design model, we do a total makeover on the definition of what surrender really is. It's not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. When you are willing to finally surrender and welcome help, whether it's from the God of your understanding or a friend who simply wants to show up and help you, you could not be exercising a stronger muscle of strength and self love. Because the mind's tendency is to grip. The mind needs to have control because it brings a level of satisfaction and security, and it's what the mind ideally is supposed to do. It's supposed to be in control. It's supposed to know. It's supposed to handle everything. And so for the mind, when you want to surrender, when you want to invite help in, that's a sign of weakness. But in the new design model, knowing that, we bring compassion to the mind. Because when we are willing to surrender in the new design model, especially during times of chaos, change, and uncertainty, we are recognizing that it's not working anymore for the mind to have a grip on a situation that needs some open hands. It doesn't serve us to know that our mind is clinging to something when our heart is telling us that the best thing we could do right now is just surrender. Surrender needing to know. Surrender needing an answer. Surrender needing something to be now that isn't yet ready. There's so many ways that you can surrender during times of change that are so beneficial to your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. In the in between, when you're willing to surrender, you know what else you're saying? You're saying, I trust what I can't see. When you're ready to have dominion over your thinking by bringing compassion to your mind, when it freaks out, when you're about to surrender and invite help, whether from the unseen world or the seen world, what you are doing in that moment is you are reestablishing your trust with what you can't see. You're telling yourself, you know what? I'm going to surrender my need to know. I'm going to practice what I've been learning here. I'm going to sit in the discomfort of not knowing. I'm going to activate the field by asking a lot of open-ended questions. And I'm just going to surrender my mind's need to know by bringing compassion to it and simultaneously allowing my heart to let go, to let more room be established so that more can enter. When you give yourself permission to surrender the need to know, the need to have answers, and when you also surrender into the feeling that you're feeling. We're going to touch on a lot of feelings that are a part of the emotional terrain of change. We've already touched on a few, like overwhelm and doubt. When you surrender to your doubt, when you surrender to being overwhelmed, when you surrender to your grief and have a good cry, oh my gosh, you know what that does? It creates movement. Surrender creates movement. It allows things to flow. It opens up the dam, so to speak, and whatever is backed up behind you, within you, around you, suddenly has space to release. So if you're feeling the grip that your mind is having on something, if it feels constrictive, if it feels like you're constrained and you can't breathe, if you feel like you need more room, that's a sign that it's time to surrender. And remember, not from a place of weakness, but from a place of strength, not from a place of not knowing, but from a place of trust that you are intentionally inviting help in. You're saying to yourself, not only don't I have to do it all, I can't do it all. I'm going to bypass my mind's belief that I have to do this all by myself. And I'm going to surrender and see what happens. Because when you do surrender mindfully, when you surrender from a place of willingness, oh my gosh, it truly is one of the most miraculous experiences that I believe we bring to ourselves and we bring to our internal landscape during times of uncertainty, change, and rebirth. So, take a look around, then take a look within and see if it might be time to surrender, let go, and invite in help. And remind yourself that you can trust what you don't see because everything is rigged in your favor. Even though it may not look like it, and even though sometimes it may not feel like it, we can remind ourselves, oh yeah, let's surrender. Let's put it down. Let's let some help come in and see how that changes things. Thanks so much for watching.